Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 52 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on doing at least 2 things every day I don't want to do, but I know it'd be good for me. So, yay for day 52 and only 48 days to go. I might actually get through these videos. That makes me happy. So, day 52 was yesterday because I did not want to make a video last night, so sadly I did not. So trying to think of things I did not want to do yesterday that I did, one of which was calling my attorney. I didn't really want to do that, and I was out driving in my car, and it kept popping in my head, so I called him, and I'm grateful that I called him. I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. I'm not 100% sure what was going on, but basically he did finally get the check from the car accident I had in February, not the one in March. That one hasn't been settled yet, but he finally got the settlement check for the one in February. So I'm not sure if I could have picked it up yesterday. I'm not sure if he was saying I could come pick it up or if he had to wait till deposit it and then transfer monies and whatever. So I just asked if I could pick it up next week when I get out of work early. And he's like, or that I could mail it. I was like, I don't know when it's going to come in the mail. It could come whatever, but I'm like, I'll just come next week because I don't know when it's going to get sent out or show up. And then at least I know when I'm getting it if I get to go pick it up. So I could have picked it up. I don't know if I could have picked it up yesterday. I could have gone to his office at the time that I called him and he was there. I just don't know if he would have been able to have a check for me if I showed up yesterday. I didn't clarify that, which is okay. At least I know I can go get one. So I did that. Also, what else did I do? I did not exercise yesterday, which I chose not to because I wanted to get extra sleep. And then I'm trying to think, because I think most of the stuff I did yesterday was stuff I wanted to do. I didn't really want to go to work, but I always go to work, so went to work. And then I had to run some errands after work, which was fine. I debated taking my medication because I went and picked up my ADHD medication yesterday. Finally had some in the store that I can get, which makes me happy. And I took the last half a dose of the other stuff yesterday morning, and then I was like, okay, I can start it in the afternoon. And then I decided I was just gonna wait and start it today because I wanted, it's supposed to be 2 a day, so I figured I'll just start even first thing in the morning. So I decided to take it today instead of yesterday afternoon, which is fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal when I started, just as long as I know when I started so I can kind of tell the difference. And then, of course, I didn't really want to drive all the way out to Maricopa because I was tired, I was exhausted, I'd stayed up really late 2 nights in a row, and I just wanted to sleep, and I've been exercising all week, except for Friday, except for, I guess, technically for today's video, I did not exercise, so I didn't want to, because I knew I needed a shower, and I had to be to work early again. I was like, I just don't want to get up early enough to do that. So, and then I did stick the cheesecake in the freezer when I got home from work because I didn't know how cold it was going to be, and I was worried about it like getting too warm on the drive out to Maricopa because it's like a 45-minute drive for me, sometimes an hour depending on traffic. And then I decided to try to go there without using my GPS, and I went a different direction because the GPS is always trying to take me, and I couldn't remember what street to turn on, so I needed the GPS for like 2 minutes, and then as soon as I got to that street I didn't need it, but then it was on and I didn't bother to turn it off. But I did use my GPS even though I didn't really want to, and it got me where I needed to go, which I'm grateful for. And I wanted to put gas in my car before I went out there, but I didn't want to pay $4.50 for gas, and I was so happy because it was actually only $4. Well, actually it was $3.99, but still I was like, I'll take the 50 cents cheaper in Maricopa to fill up my tank of gas. So got my son to do that for me, which was fantastic. So I went out there to celebrate his birthday, which is actually before my daughter's birthday, but he was out of town for spring break. He'd actually gone to, he's in the ROTC for high school, and so he got to go on a trip to a naval base in California, and then he got to go to Disneyland for a week. So I'm like, 2 weeks, and I was like, well, I can't really celebrate your birthday if you're not even in the same state. So we celebrated last night. So I went and picked him up from school, and then we dropped the cheesecake off at his house, and then we went to dinner and played pool, so that was fun. And I didn't really want to spend extra money, but I kind of felt like I should spend at least as much money as I did on my daughter, even though I didn't really feel like I had it. But then just knowing that I have that check coming from the attorney from the car settlement, I was like, okay, you know what, I can balance it out, I can make it work, and it will be okay, and all of my bills will still get paid, and I do get paid next week, and I do have overtime. So it will be okay, and it will just be okay. And I'm just super grateful that I was okay with that, even though I don't want to spend money I don't have. And I had the money, I just had it earmarked for other things. So I had it in my savings to pay for my phone bill in May, and I had it earmarked to like pay for at least almost 2/3 of my utility bill. So I had some money set aside for that, but then I took it out to do this. And also I didn't yeah. So I was taking things for today instead of yesterday. I apologize. My brain does that. But I do remember something Thursday that I didn't mention in my video. I don't know if I need to mention that, so never mind. This is me just trying to figure out what all I did in my video. And then of course I came home and I had that one more cheesecake that I was supposed to take to my neighbor, because I didn't see her message on Thursday when I made it, so I thought I'll just take it. And then I was like, I don't want to do that. When I got home, because it was already like 8:30 at night, and I was like, is it too late? Because I know she has 2 little kids and one of them's a baby, and I was like, I don't want to do that. But then I messaged her, and then I decided I was just going to take it to her, and then I was going to take it to her because I didn't get a response back. Then she sent a message saying it wasn't too late. And I was like, oh, good. So I still took it to her, even though, I didn't want to, but I did. And I'm grateful that I did, because I really didn't need to be eating it, and I didn't really need to do anything with that. So I did take it to her. I also told my coworker, because I told my coworker yesterday, I was like, I'm going to bring in a cheesecake, and you have to take it home with you if nobody else eats it, because I can't have it. And then I didn't bring it in, and then someone else brought in treats for something else. And so I sent her a message, and I was like, oh yeah, I was going to bring a cheesecake, but I baked a cheesecake. So, because that's what my son wanted. So I didn't bring in a cheesecake to work today. I just kind of omitted the fact that I also made the no-bake cheesecake. So I didn't really have an excuse not to bring a cheesecake to work, except that I gave away all of the no-bake cheesecake, so there weren't any left for me to take to work. I kind of omitted that part because I didn't want to feel that bad about myself for doing that. And it's not like, I don't know how much she was looking forward to cheesecake, or if she was perfectly okay with that, because I kind of felt like maybe I was pushing it on her a little bit. So I did at least let her know that I'm like, I ended up staying up late and baking one, which is true. I did stay up late and I did bake one, and that is what my son wanted, and that is what I gave my son. So but yeah, so I'm grateful that it worked out, and I'm grateful I got to spend the time with my son and do the drive. And I did not go to the temple for my service mission thing and cleaning the temple, and because I was just so tired and so exhausted, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I just keep pushing the thought out of my mind, because I always wanted to serve a mission and I didn't get to, so I was super happy about doing a service mission. And but the thought keeps coming to mind that I just need to let go of my service mission, that I need to ask to be released, even though it's not like the 2 years that I originally signed up for, and it's not quite been a year and a half, but it's been close to a year and a half. But I realized I haven't gone for the last 4 weeks because something has come up, or because I've just been too tired to go, or whatever it is. And so I was praying about it, and God was just giving me like images and reminders and situations of things where it just made it feel like it was okay to ask to be released. And I don't really want to be released, but I also know that I need to take care of myself, and I need to take care of my health, and I need to be more consistent. Like, my body needs to consistently get used to sleeping, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, like adjusting to my hours and not having them change every single weekend. And as much as I like having them change every single weekend, it's harder for me during the week, and I think that's making it harder for me to adjust and harder for me to get up early to exercise, because I stay up so late on the weekends. And what happens is I take a nap on Friday, and then I stay up really late because I go clean, and then I stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I sleep in on Saturday, and then I can't go to bed early on Saturday, even though there's no reason to stay up late because I slept in so late. And then I have to get up early for church, and then I'm just tired all day Sunday, and then it just kind of rolls over into the rest of the week. And I don't sleep well at night anyway, so that's not helping me get in a system. So I don't like giving it up, because I enjoy doing it, and I know that God has blessed me and helped me every time I've gone, and I felt so good and wonderful doing it. But it's just getting myself motivated and getting myself there. And there were just some examples. Like, I had this reminder when I was growing up. There was someone in my neighborhood that wanted to go on a mission, and she also had a boyfriend, and they wanted to get married, but he said he would wait for her to serve her mission, and she was all okay with waiting, and he was okay with waiting, and she went on her mission, and then she got sick and had to come home, and then she went back out on her mission, because she came home and she got better, and then she went back out, and then she got sick and she had to come home again. And I don't know how many times she went back and forth, but I know she didn't make, like, I don't even think she hit a year mark, and she was supposed to go for like a year and a half before she finally just, let go of her mission. And she ended up getting married to the guy that, because he waited for her the whole time. He was there for her when she was sick and all of those things. So they ended up getting married. But I think it was just kind of playing in my mind that it wasn't working on her mission, because that's not what the Lord wanted her to do, and that's not where she was supposed to be. And so the Lord would help me right now if I want to keep pushing myself to do that. But I'm not going to get healthy, and I'm not going to feel better if I keep pushing myself to do that, because there's other things that I need to do with my life. So wasn't really thrilled about that. And then I was journaling and realized, had the reminder, the impression that when I got my patriarchal blessing, it's kind of like for those of you that don't belong to my faith, my religion, it's kind of a blessing you get from a patriarch that's been set apart. And they basically kind of give you like a vague roadmap of your life and things that will help you throughout your life, and kind of, an outline of what your future might be, and promises and goals that Heavenly Father has for you if you're willing to accept them and be faithful and follow them. Some people's are much more specific, and some people's are very generic. Just depends on what a person needs. And so my ex's was very specific, and he didn't do anything with it. And mine was, it's a little bit broader. But one thing I remember praying to know, and I wanted to know, was about serving a mission. Like, I just really wanted to serve a mission when I was younger. I think I still do. And I prayed so much for that. And the only mention of even anything close to a mission in my patriarchal blessing is just my earthly mission, which is, being here on earth. It's not an actual like service mission or proselyting mission. There's nothing in my patriarchal blessing that says either one of those things. It does say that I will have the desire to share the gospel, and that I will never be ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, which I feel like I'm living up to that, and to the testimony that it promised me that I would have, and that I do have. So I'm grateful for all of that, but I'm also grateful that Heavenly Father was putting into my mind that He never said I was going to get to serve a mission, and that I would have the desire to share the gospel. It just may not be in the form, it doesn't say in there that it may not be in the form I want, but I feel like He's telling me it's not in the form that I want. And I'm just learning that things have to go according to God's plan and not mine, and according to His timing and not mine. And I have had the wonderful opportunity of serving and helping to clean the temple once a week since almost a year and a half, since it was September of 2021, 22? Because I did it for a whole year. So it was September of 2021, I think, when they opened the temple in December. The temple's been open for a year, so it's just 2023. So it would have been September of 2021. So I lasted an entire year. I didn't get set apart as a missionary until like the middle of November. So it wasn't like officially until November, and the temple didn't open until December, but I was still serving and I was still helping in November and December. So for all of that. So, I pretty much made it for the year and a half. I've missed a few times. I think mostly the first year I hardly missed any at all. And then after I started my new job, I just really struggled. And I switched nights because I thought it would be better and it would help. And it did help for a little bit, but I still just really struggled. So I have had an opportunity to do it, and I have done it for over a year. And I'm just, when I sign up, they give you an opportunity, like how much time or whatever. And I went for 2 years because that's what it said. And I thought that would be great. And I could do it, and I could extend it, and I could just keep doing it as long as I wanted to, and as long as nobody else needed to do it. So I still have to, figure out how to actually go about being released and letting the custodial coordinator know that I need to be released from my service mission. Not something I'm really looking forward to doing, but something I feel like would be better for me and maybe something that God has been telling me for several months now, and I've just been refusing to accept it because it's not what I want. And I'm like, I want to do this. I can't do anything else, so I want to do this. And I know I can still do my service in the temple on Saturdays, and I can still go as a patron to the temple during the week if I can do that. And there's other ways that I can serve. It just isn't going to be doing that, cleaning the temples on Friday nights anymore, or any night during the week. And of course, when our ward comes up for volunteers to go, I can maybe go do it then. And maybe as my health improves and I get things a little bit more under control with my health and my schedule and everything else like that, I might be able to stay up late one night and it would be okay. But right now, it just isn't working for me. Plus, my supervisor, for some reason, seems to think that every Friday I have to open at 6:40 in the morning. And I'm like, I have 7:15 days. I have 7:30 days that I go to work at 7:30 in the morning. But every Friday seems to be a 6:40 day. And I was like, seriously, why do I always have to open on Fridays when I need to stay up late on Fridays? And I don't always get a nap on Fridays. So I don't even have the chance to sleep in or get a little bit of extra sleep on Fridays. So it's just, I think it's better for me. It's harder for me, but I think it's better for me. So not what I want to do, but doing it anyway. So hard things, but good things. Change is always hard, and letting go of things that I want to do, and even things that are good for me that I want to do that just aren't meant to be right now, that just aren't working in my life. And sometimes I think it's the hardest to accept those things where it's like, I know I'm doing a good thing. I know I'm doing a good service. I know I'm, doing things that, that God would want me to do. Like, it just seems like that's what he would want me to do. But he's like, that's not where I need you right now. And that's not helping you right now. And it's time to let this go. Like, that was the time for you to do it. And now it's up. I was like, but I want more time. I'm not ready. But God is telling me that I am, and that it's time to move on. And it's hard. It's hard when you feel like you're doing something good, you have a good goal, you're working in a good direction, and God's like, these are all good things. But it reminds me of a conference talk from years ago. I can't remember who said it or what it was. I just remember there was good, better, and best. And God always wants us to have the best. And I'm always okay with settling for good and sometimes better. I'm like, I'm doing better, so it's okay. But God's like, I want the best for you. And so just because I'm doing something good doesn't mean that it's the best thing for me. And it might be the best thing for someone else, but it's not the best thing for me. Or it might be the best thing later, but the timing just isn't right. So I think it was the best thing when I was doing it, and the timing was right, and it was fantastic. But things in my life have changed, which means that also has to change. And I've been trying not to. I've been holding on to it, but I finally realized last night, I'm like, this is the 4th week in a row that I just have not been able to get myself to go. And I can't keep missing. I can't keep disappointing people because I'm supposed to be there and they're expecting me to come and help and serve and wondering where I'm at. And I just, and then of course I feel bad because I think I was, in my mind, not verbally out loud, kind of judging my editing friend, temple friend, that because she gave up her temple mission service because she changed jobs and she just didn't have the energy to do it. And I was very supportive of her. And I was like, well, if that's what you feel like you need to do. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, she could just pray and Heavenly Father could help her do this, and she could just, rotate. And plus I kind of was selfish and I wanted her to come and work at the temple with me. I enjoyed doing that with her, and I enjoyed reconnecting with her at the temple. But it wasn't working out for her, so she had to let it go, and she did what she had to do and what was best for her. And I mean, she also had 3 service missions she was doing in the beginning, and I just had the one. So to me, that was much more impressive what she was doing than what I was doing. So for her to have to give up 1 or 2 for her job and still hang on to one, but she had to choose which one worked best for her. And I think she hung on to the clothing one for the longest, and I don't know if she still has that one or if she's given that one up too. But I feel bad that I was kind of judgmental about that in my head, like, oh, you should still be able to do it, because I'm not her and I don't know her situation. And I always think, God can help me do anything. He can help everyone do anything. And that is true. But God also tries to help us do what's best for us and help us go in the direction that he wants us to go in, because he has something better and he has the best things for us in mind. And sometimes I think this is just good or this is better and I'm okay with this, and sometimes I don't realize that there is something better because I'm not looking for something better, because I feel like I'm doing my best, or I feel like this is the best thing that I can have. And Heavenly Father is just like, no, I have something better for you, and I have something that's going to be the best and the most amazing for you. But in order for me to have those better things or the best things in my life, I have to give up the good things. I have to give up the better things for the best things. And sometimes I think it's just a seasonal thing where, it was the best thing for me at the time when I signed up for it, and it really helped me to connect and to socialize and to be around the spirit more, because the job I was doing, I was around a lot of people that were cussing and swearing and drinking and doing things that I don't do. That's not part of my lifestyle. And so it was nice to have that extra added connection with the temple and with serving other people and cleaning and doing those things and learning things, and just I loved it. And I'm sad to let it go, which is why I'm rambling on about it. But I'm going to let it go because I I need to be able to sleep at night. I need to be able to be consistent with my hours. And I'm a night owl, but my job requires me to get up early, so it requires me to change my schedule, which is a lot harder the older I get. And the fact that I'm overweight and out of shape is not helping that. And I need to get enough sleep at night. And so I need to sleep more. And in order to get more sleep, I have to go to bed earlier, and I need to be more consistent with going to bed earlier. And one night off, I think because of my ADHD and my PTSD, it throws everything off. So it's like that whole creating a habit, and I can do the habits for a little while, but then if I stop, even if I've done it for months or years, and I stop for one day or for 1 week, then it all falls apart. So right now for me to try to be going to bed at night and then have that 1 day a week, it just throws everything off, and it just is making it so hard for me to adjust to my schedule at work. And I find myself telling people, I like my job, I like the people I work with, I don't have a problem with that. My problem is the hours, because I just cannot adjust to getting up that early. And I think maybe it would be easier to adjust to getting up that early if I actually was going to bed at the same time every night, and if I was actually going to bed on Friday nights and Saturday nights and on the weekends, if my weekend sleep schedule mirrored that of my work schedule. And yes, I will probably still sleep in on Saturdays and Sundays because I do not have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I will still try to go to bed earlier so I can still catch up on a little bit of sleep on the weekends and feel like more of a human being. And maybe I will be able to get more things done on the weekends and not feel like I'm just tired and trying to sleep to catch up for the whole week. So I'm hoping, but I don't know. I don't know what God has in store for me, but I feel like if he keeps telling me I need to let it go, and he's giving me examples of situations where things worked out better for people when they let go of the one thing they wanted to do. And even though it's a good thing, it's not always for everybody. It's not always the best for everybody. And what's best for me isn't necessarily what's best for someone else. And what's best for someone else isn't always the best for me. And I am having to learn that again in my life, and being reminded that I can't judge other people based on myself, because I don't know them and their situation, and I don't always know what's best for them. I know what things are good, and good things are always good, but it doesn't always mean that they're the best. And so this is me trying to do things for myself that are better and best. And I didn't realize that it was going to be hard to give up good things. I knew I was going to have to give up stuff like watching TV and playing games on my phone, which are still good things to do. I just do them way too much, and so they kind of are time wasters. So I'm like, it's good to give up time wasters. It's not, that's a much better use of my time, which is good. But it never occurred to me that I was going to have to give up doing my service mission. That never crossed my mind as something that wasn't going to be the best for me. So doing something I don't want to do because I feel like it's the best thing for me to do with my life right now. And I feel like that's what God is telling me to do, and that he will support me if I want to keep being stubborn and trying to do it. but he will also help me be at peace. And I've noticed I feel the most peace right now. Instead of being anxious and guilty and all of those things, I just feel at peace with letting it go. And so I feel like that's really what God wants me to do in my life. So I'm grateful for the peace that is coming, but I am going to miss the calling. I am going to miss doing that service, but I'm also grateful because it means I won't have to worry about taking naps. I won't have to worry about the time on Friday nights, and I won't have to be staying awake on Friday nights. Like, I'm ready to go to bed, and instead I'm getting ready to walk out the door to go clean. So this will remove that for me. So I'm grateful for that. But change is hard. So something I'm learning by doing things I don't want to do, and that is that is me and my ramblings. So thank you for listening to me and my ramblings, and me and processing out the things that I don't want to do but I need to do because they're better for me, or maybe the best for me. And maybe hopefully I say will help some of you watching these videos. If it does, please comment down below, and if not, that's okay too. But if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe try doing 1 or 2 things every day you don't want to do but you know would be good for you.